Are you a YouTuber who's just starting out or a streamer who's just getting started and you don't have the money to buy expensive lighting to make your stream go from this to this? Then I've got the video for you. Hey, this is Fedora Gal, and like many of you, I'm just starting out my streaming and YouTube career, and I don't have a ton of capital to be spending on lights or cameras, and so I decided that I was going to take $20 and turn it into a series of lights that I could use on my stream to improve it. First off, we're going to get started today with a very simple ring light that's going to light you up just like this. Just a reminder that I stream every day except for Monday and Friday on Twitch, so let's get started. First, we're going to just talk about what we need to get going here. So you're going to need a glue gun, a pair of wire strippers, a soldering iron, scissors or a knife, some solder, strip of LED lights. This one is 2 meters long and is also, I have one that is dimmable, but you can do one that is just on and off. That is perfectly fine. Last couple things you're gonna need are a piece of cardboard. I picked one that's nice and white on the backside, and you're gonna need some Alcan aluminum foil. And of course, the last thing you're going to need is some stiff cardboard. You can use the cardboard on the box. I'm just using some cardboard paper that I had lying around the house here, but you can use box cardboard as well. Just keep in mind that in order to calculate the circumference of the circle, which is around the outside here, that you are going to have to use the formula pi times diameter. So for us, we're doing a 10-inch diameter from here to here. I would have to do pi times 10 to get the correct number to go around the outside. So keep that in mind no matter which way you do it. And if you do start to go with cardboard, I just did a little mock-up here. The way you get it to curl around the outside like this is you just score the inside layer of the cardboard every 1/4 of an inch all the way around, and then it will fold nicely around a circle here. So this is sort of a tiny mock-up of what we're gonna do. We're gonna put the LED lights in the middle here. We're just gonna do it on a much larger scale. So let's get going. First off, you're gonna grab your piece of cardboard that you're gonna use and your circle making device. Just grab your marker, and it's as simple as tracing all the way around. You can do this with a pencil, a Sharpie, whatever you feel like it. I'm just using the Sharpie because I didn't want to take up that much space or to make such big lines that the inside of my thing, it really doesn't matter actually. Take a pair of scissors and then cut it out, or you can just use your handy dandy knife. If you are cutting on a surface that you put something underneath to protect your table, you do not want to wreck the surface underneath, right? Make sure that you are about center. You can get exact if you want to. I'm just gonna freehand it. Looks about center. Okay, so there we've got our base of our light. And if you were lucky enough to do this with a full piece of cardboard without any bend in it, then you don't have to worry about doing any reinforcement. But because I've got this bend in the middle and I want to make sure that my light is nice and sturdy, I'm just going to put a strip of cardboard just in here to keep that a little bit more rigid. Okay, and then we're gonna take a bit of our cardboard and we're going to measure down about an inch. I'm not gonna make this super wide. This is gonna be the strip that goes around the outside. You need one to go around the outside of the ring and one to go around the inside. Okay, so I've got my lines all drawn across here, which are a little hard to see in the light, but I'm just going to use a big straight edge. Now, this doesn't go all the way around the outside, and that's okay, because this is going to be more than long enough to go around the inside. Okay, and if you leave a little bit of a gap, that's okay. We're going to be running a cord through there anyway. And then around the outside, we just make sure that we now have enough to go all the way around the outside to make our lovely light. So now you're going to glue this together. Quick inspection just on the inside of the ring to make sure that we are all nice and sealed up. It's pretty firm. I'm actually a little bit, I'm not exactly flush. I'm a little higher in the center than I am on the outside. So at this point you can do any trimming or anything that you feel you need to in order to make it as pretty as you would like. I'm going to seal off this hole because I actually decided I'm going to take the wires out through the outside of the light here. I've just trimmed off this side here so that it's nice and flush, and just done a little bit of reinforcing. I just added this piece back in here to seal off that hole, and I am overall content with how this looks. Our next stage is going to be doing the aluminum foil. Draw it out, which is how we're going to do it, and then we're just going to cut it a little bit larger because we want the aluminum foil to be in a V up here. We want it to reflect the light out. You want the shiny side of the aluminum out, so we're going to draw on the not so shiny side. And I should have cut a couple reliefs. This just allows us to have a little bit more space. Okay. It does not need to be perfect. This is more wrinkly than I wanted it to be. I'd prefer it all to be mostly smooth like this, but the idea is that this just reflects the light up away from where you're going to install the LEDs. So for this, I am content. Normally this would just have a couple of leads or go into a 12-volt plug. But because I have a special dimmer pack with this particular set of light or LED strips, because I wanted to control the brightness. I am going to be attaching multiple lights together, but we have to make sure that we have enough room coming into our light strip for this. To start off with, I'm just gonna try one strip of LED lights around the middle. We'll see how bright that is. If I need to add more lights, then I will have room to do so. We are going to do them in, I should be able to cut them in twos. You see where there's this brown patch on here? You wanna cut every second one. Just right in the middle on the cut line. There's one part in the middle here. You can see that there's a second strip attached together. This is already soldered, so I can't cut there. I may not use that particular one. Probably save that one for my other light set. Just gonna use a dowel here and we're gonna poke a hole out. The back of these particular LED lights that I bought has a sticky back on it, so that's going to make this a lot easier to position the lights. All you got to do is peel off the backing. And you see how it looks back there. Oops. Mayday, Houston, we have a problem. The sticky backing, which appears to be just a double-sided tape, actually came off with the tape for this particular unit. The first set of lights. I just want to interject here and state that aluminum foil does carry electricity. So a safety step that you need to do before you actually place down the glued strips of LEDs is to put a dollop of glue underneath where the two LED strips connect. This is just a safety precaution to make sure that when you solder them together, you are not soldering onto the aluminum and causing an electrical current to go through the whole of the aluminum foil. This could be a dangerous situation should you plug it in and ground the foil to something, so please be sure that you take that step. You will see me do it in the next part of the video, but it's best to do it here before you actually glue the edges down. So what I'm doing is you get one side, there we go, soaked into, connected to the copper on one side, then you get it connected to the copper on the other side, and then you build up. Basically you build up and over. And eventually you should be able to just drag them towards each other. Now my attempt to make a base for this ring light actually hardcore failed. You can see me trying to do it here. I had this grand idea where I was going to make these two cardboard circles. One would do a rotation 360 left and right, and one would do about 180 degrees front and back, but it actually hardcore failed and I couldn't get it to work. However, I did like this square base that I came up with a slot in it that allowed the light to stand flat on a desk, or by using the cheapest thing I could find in my closet, a coat hanger, allowed me to create a bendable, flexible mount to stick it on my wall. Use your own discretion, do whatever you think will work best, but for me this is a quick, simple solution that I found out worked really well, and once I painted the light, it turned out fantastic. Here we are in late evening. It is 11:15 at night here, and I'm using my ring light to light up my camera and just so you can see what this looks like. The unfortunate thing is I had some extra footage here that showed me putting the wax paper around the outside of the ring and securing it really tightly. I ended up using packing tape around the edges to secure it nice and tight because the first time I did the wax paper it didn't work. Basically what you want to do is you want to cut a ring a little bit wider than the actual ring, same thing we did with the aluminum foil, and then you're going to notch it all the way around and just work one piece at a time. Make sure you're securing the inside and the outside with tape all the way around. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then I just went around one more time with packing tape to make sure that it was super secure. I'm gonna throw in the picture here so you can see exactly what it looked like when it was finished. And I took it outside and did a little bit of a black spray paint with some very expensive caliper paint, because that's all that I had, to make it nice and glossy and black and finished. And then of course we took it and connected it to the wall with a few screws and the lovely bent coat hanger, which you will also see in this video. And then it was connected up. So this right now is my ring light. I have my exposure on my camera set to lock so that as I adjust this higher, this is actually full blast right now. I have no other lights on in my computer room. I am super washed out. You can actually see the wall behind me. So I don't think I need to add any second lights to this. The light ring is actually not directly above my webcam. It's off and went to one side, so it gives me a little bit of shadow underneath here, and so that my face just doesn't look like I'm pasty white and hanging in. Like, I may not like that it even shows this a little bit, but whatever. I would never have it this bright on stream at night. I would probably throw it down to about there. That's a comfortable light level for me. My face is actually a little bit higher. My face is very well lit. I have a little bit of shadows on the side, so it gives me a little bit of a depth, and we're not completely lighting up the back wall, because the idea with the second square light, which will be coming up in a future video, it's gonna light the back side of my head, eliminate again this harshness between the two, and then I'm gonna actually put some colored lights or whatnot on the back wall to highlight my t-shirts and whatnot that I have hanging up back there. So overall, this was a very good design, very easy to make. It did take me quite a bit, but I was fiddling around with it, so hopefully it doesn't take you that long, and I can't wait to get the square light coming off. So if all you have in your budget is $20 and some cardboard and wax paper, you can do this build no problem and get a nice ring light for yourself. Don't forget, if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that like button, and throw any comments below on what you like most about the video. And just a reminder that I stream every day except for Monday and Friday on Twitch. You can find the link down below here. I hope to see you there. But for now, this is Fedora Gal signing out. Have yourself a great day. Make sure you stay safe, have some fun, play some games, and most of all, just enjoy life right now, because it's the only one you got.